Pepper spray! Pepper spray painting us! Shit!
Hey guys, hope everyone is enjoying these wonderful, peaceful protests that this country has been blessed with, and that they're enjoying their 6-month free trial of the New World Order. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Okradowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot to get into today, especially not only with just the urban decay happening all throughout this country with massive civil unrest that, as again, we've been telling you, is going to get way, way worse from here, but most importantly, today we are going to be focusing on an extraordinary comment by U.S. President Donald Trump that literally talked about how the top people in the Pentagon want to do nothing but fight wars and to enrich companies by making bombs. And that's why extensively we are going to be looking into the military-industrial complex, which was actually trending moments ago, and give you an honest and fair analysis of Donald Trump's words in the background of his foreign policy since he's been president. And before we get into that, of course, we have to acknowledge that 2020 has been utterly crazy, and the mainstream media is absolutely making it that much worse by obfuscating and playing defense for violent rioters, supporting one protest while completely ignoring another one that deals with children being victimized by very powerful individuals. Yeah, kind of ironic how the establishment and all of its institutions go along with one protest movement while completely ignoring a very important one. And if the mainstream media is not pushing the divide and conquer narrative, well, they're just running with absolutely insane narratives and headlines like the ones that you're watching right now that are just absolutely frickin' bonkers. And because of that, we need independent media more than ever. And because we have independent media, it is heavily shadow banned, censored, and of course, as this channel is 100% demonetized. So to sustain our operations and still be here for you almost every single day, we have a t-shirt store where you can buy t-shirts like this one that spreads the very important PSA of practicing media distancing. One of my favorite ones to wear is this one that says, "If you trust the government, you don't know history." Orwell is also very popular since, of course, his work is a homage to the current reality that we're all living in. And then, of course, we have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris t-shirts. We actually have 2 of those. We have a Donald Trump 2020 t-shirt as well available for you. And one of our latest ones, F This Place, with a new updated picture of the flag of the former state of New York. So yeah, check out our t-shirts. The link is down below. And we are almost sold out of our Apocalypse self-defense training that's going to be happening in Concord, New Hampshire this Sunday. If you have already bought tickets, we are now doing a meal plan. If you are interested, make sure to check your emails and respond to our correspondence. We have a lot of exciting things ready for you Sunday. I will see you then. Now, Donald Trump's actions and comments just a few hours ago has surprised a lot of people, including myself, since we've seen him usher these shocking statements that have raised a lot of eyebrows. Here's the video.
Our borders and sent our youth to fight in these crazy, endless wars, and it's one of the reasons the military, I'm not saying the military is in love with me, the soldiers are. The top people in the Pentagon probably aren't, because they want to do nothing but fight wars so that all of those wonderful companies that make the bombs and make the planes and make everything else stay happy. But we're getting out of the endless wars. You know how we're doing. We defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate. 100%. When I came in, it was a mess. It was all over. They have it in a certain color, all ISIS. A year later, I said, "Where is it?" "It's all gone, sir. Because of you, it's all gone. Because of my philosophy, but it's all gone."
Yeah, wow. Very powerful comments that, of course, have a lot of implications that we have to break down in pieces here. And Donald Trump brought attention to the military-industrial complex, which is a parasite subsidized welfare whore that has been squandering the money of this nation since World War II. And if you look at the United States military, quote, defense spending, it is a lot higher than the majority of the world. It is without a doubt the biggest squandering of our tax dollars, and also one of the reasons why this country is indebted to close to now $25 trillion. Excuse me, correction. And holy cow, this is going up a lot faster than I thought. A few weeks ago, it was 25 trillion. It's now 26.7 trillion dollars, and a large factor to this is, of course, military spending. A lot of it wasteful, a lot of it unproductive, a lot of it creating more conflicts and problems rather than, of course, solving them. And Donald Trump, in this particular speech, brought up ISIS, which is a great example of wasteful military spending since, of course, Pentagon-backed rebels were fighting CIA-backed rebels inside of Syria, and it was discovered that the U.S. military was literally financing, throwing money, weapons, munitions, all sorts of weaponry and hardware into Syria, which armed ISIS. Now, Donald Trump is taking credit for allegedly defeating ISIS, but really all he had to do is stop financing them, and it looks like that's exactly what happened, as his previous predecessor, Barack Obama, along with Hillary Clinton, were some of the main ones that were funding the, quote, freedom fighters and rebel groups inside of Syria that turned out to be radical jihadists. And this is why many ISIS members were found with U.S. military hardware. So on those two very important particular topics, Donald Trump is right on the money with his comments and, of course, his criticism. Now, along with this speech, Donald Trump also decided to retweet a very prominent leftist figure, Glenn Greenwald, specifically on his thread where Glenn Greenwald talked about Dwight Eisenhower's address and warnings about the military-industrial complex. Glenn Greenwald also went on a tirade directly criticizing CNN that predominantly attacked Donald Trump for those comments and spun the information mainly to attack Donald Trump, not what he actually said. Now, CNN, of course, joined the ranks of John Bolton in attacking Donald Trump for making these fairly accurate statements. And let's be honest here, whenever John Bolton and CNN are your enemy, you're doing something right. There's absolutely no denying that at all. And we have to ask ourselves, have new wars been started under Donald Trump? And the resounding answer is no. And that's something to really consider here since, of course, his previous predecessors, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton before him, all started new aggressive military campaigns, but Donald Trump hasn't. Now, hold on there. That doesn't exactly clear him of wrongdoing. We have a lot of other important information that we're going to get into in just a little bit, but obviously a lot of people are going to be comparing this speech and this talking point by Donald Trump, and in this election year are going to be asking which presidential candidate is going to be the least of a war hawk, and I still have to concede here that it most likely would be Donald Trump, since, of course, Joe Biden is the career politician that will say anything that is popular in order to, of course, sustain and keep his power. Here's a video of him a few years ago defending marriage only being between a man and a woman.
We don't have enough police officers, and we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that.
Now, what's really astonishing from that entire video is that Joe Biden is actually there. He's making coherent sentences. He's actually making sense with the words that are coming out of his mouth, which is absolutely surprising and looks like a completely different person. Right now, from the interviews that he's doing, that he absolutely looks like a lost person that's talking absolute nonsense.
911 calls. The only person calling to defund the police is Donald Trump. Look at his budget. He calls for cutting police funding for state and local help by $400 million.
I mean, poor guy looks like he's just absolutely lost it, that he's not there. And if there ever was a politician representing the status quo, representing the special interests that have been running Washington, D.C., it is Joe Biden. He is a shell of a candidate that, of course, will only do the bidding of his controllers. Now, these controllers, these special interests, these people who make billions of dollars off the military-industrial complex, one of the biggest lobbyists in Washington, D.C., they're not dumb folks. They're extremely intelligent. That's why they got into the positions that they're in. And, of course, Joe Biden isn't their only puppet. And let's be honest here, when we look at the actions of Donald Trump, they are not the actions of a peacenik. They are very worrisome and troublesome, especially after his criticism of the military-industrial complex when he is the president that argued and successfully lobbied for record-high military budgets. With his foreign policy, he has stowed more chaos in Latin America. He assassinated an Iranian general. He eliminated the record-keeping of victims of drone attacks overseas, where the United States public can't even find out exactly how much bombs are dropping on people all over the world, which he continues to do. He has expanded AFRICOM forces, continued supporting and aiding the largest humanitarian crisis in the world right now in Yemen, and right now he has troops stationed in Syria, uninvited, guarding oil fields that he plans to sell to a military contractor. He has also bombed and launched an attack on the Syrian government. So, reality check, people here. Donald Trump hasn't been the greatest foe against the military-industrial complex, but he is continuing his rhetoric that we heard when he was running to be president the first time, when he was campaigning. He was promising a lot of significant changes to American foreign policy. And honestly, he hasn't delivered on many of those promises that he previously campaigned on. He has continued a lot of the failed policies and has almost brought us on the brink of a major conflict. Let's be honest here, when Donald Trump is surrounded by Henry Kissinger, his quote, good friend, that he admittedly takes advice from, when you're surrounded by people like Jared Kushner and Eric Prince, the founder of Blackwater, the same guy right now who actively is pushing for mercenaries to be deployed in Afghanistan to replace U.S. troops, whose sister is Donald Trump's education secretary, you really shed a light on something that needs to be exposed. By the way, this is the same Blackwater founder that has ties to, of course, deals with the Chinese Communist government when it comes to the detention of the Uyghur Muslims. An effort that some people are conjecturing is supported by Disney, who, by the way, their new film Mulan was filmed nearby the Uyghur concentration camps, which they even in their own credits thanked the CCP, Chinese Communist Party agency that was tasked with overseeing the camps. So yeah, seeing Donald Trump's close ties to Eric Prince, his son-in-law Jared Kushner, who, by the way, personally intervened and negotiated to get Saudi Arabia a better weapons deal, a weapons deal that Donald Trump signed off on, and now is a part of in creating the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. Again, many atrocities are happening right in front of our eyes, just like they did during major historic conflicts before us. And just like that, people are choosing to ignore them. And these are conflicts that should not be ignored. And one of the biggest telltale signs that Donald Trump is not an enemy of the deep state and the military-industrial complex is, of course, the Trump administration's prosecution of Julian Assange, which, by the way, the extradition trial is going on right now, and as described by Edward Snowden, is really just a show trial out of something like Kafka, where the judge keeps changing the charges against Julian Assange and denying even the basic motions made by Julian Assange's defense. Many people are calling this a farce trial, and it is, because Julian Assange, one, is not an American citizen. He should not be charged in the United States. His only crime is literally exposing the U.S. government secret to the American public. His crime is providing accountability to the American government on issues that they were absolutely wrong on and that they were deceiving the American public on. So, I'm sorry, but exposing the truth shouldn't land you in jail, and the United States should not be extraditing foreign citizens that are not American citizens to the United States and try to throw them in jail for the rest of their lives for simply exposing the truth to the American public. Donald Trump's actions on this particular case, his direct involvement, going after Julian Assange, is one of the biggest telltale signs that you need to understand Donald Trump. If he decides to pardon and release Julian Assange, then maybe we could have an absolute consideration into some of his actions. But as of right now, he absolutely deserves not to be trusted, since, of course, if Julian Assange goes down for the crime of telling the truth, it would set a very dangerous precedent that will essentially destroy the free press and, of course, the expression of free speech. This is a very important case, and this is a very important one to look at, because these are the actual actions of Donald Trump that do deserve consideration. His speech, his talking points are something else, and we have to remember that this is a campaign year where Donald Trump has previously said a lot of things that he has not kept his promise on. Saudi Arabia being one of them, and then all the other ones that we mentioned that are important context here to really fully understand the situation that we are in from an honest perspective. I know a lot of Trump supporters just want to hear how Trump is great, but this is something that legitimately needs to be addressed, and before it's addressed, I would consider supporting yourself over a politician any freaking day. The truth matters more than anything, and this is why I am here, breaking down both sides of the utter trash surrounding us. Hey, some people don't like the fact that there's trash all around us. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to pick up the trash on the left, just like you're gonna have to pick up the trash on the right if you don't want to live in freaking trash. I don't want to live in trash, and if you don't want to live in trash either, share this video with your friends and family members. It's more important than ever. YouTube has been screwing us. The algorithm has been screwing us. The only way these videos get out there is with you directly sharing them, and because you do, I am still here. I wouldn't be here without you. This is why. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.